Hey everybody, Tyler and Freddie here. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the show. I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to have another guest on. And I'm going to get right into it because this guy is hilarious and I want to see what he's up to. He's somewhere in the country right now. I don't know where. But he's been on the Tonight Show, Conan. He's got a special out right now called Out to Lunch. Please welcome Mark Normand.
Hey, how horrible is this lighting, huh?
Are you in the ballroom? Is that your room?
No, I'm in the ballroom. This is the only place where the goddamn Wi-Fi works in this town.
Where are you?
Lafayette, Louisiana.
Holy shit. What we got a 5 o'clock show?
I got 3 shows tonight, a 5, a 7, and a 9.
Holy shit. An hour each time?
Yeah, I'm headlining, and then a couple local dweebs are going up in front of me.
Jeez Louise. How is it doing 3 hours in a night? That sounds exhausting. Are you used to that?
It's taxing. 3 is tough. 2 is pretty standard, but that extra one, you're on stage on the 3rd show going, did I say this yet? Is this show? What show did I say that on? Holy shit. But it's great for, just working out material. I mean, by the end of the night, you got a whole new bit because you tried on all 3. So it's a lot of work and a haul, but they're all sold out, so it should be fun.
Full capacity?
No. I think it's 50.
Does anybody come from the first 2 that come to the 3? Do you have any repeat? Do you look out and you see somebody?
It's happened, and it's always a nightmare. It totally throws me. It kills my whole ego because now they go, oh, this is like an act. This is a performance. I thought he was a cool guy slinging zingers out of his asshole, and now it's all wrote and written, and it's like going to see a magician again. All the tricks are over. You see how they're done. Yeah,
or if you're dating somebody and she sees that second show.
Oh.
And as like 25% of their interest is going to just die.
Yeah, and I'm such an insecure queef that, you've done comedy clubs, even the wait staff seeing the same shit. I'm like, and like they're zoning me out. They're slinging chicken fingers, and I'm telling my 13th joke on trans women, but it still kills me. Even though everybody knows it's an act, everybody knows it's written, it still bugs me.
I know. Is there any way to combat that, or is it just over time? Hopefully, it'll get easier.
I think the only way is obviously have those written jokes, but change the order and have some in the room moment shit. Like, what do you look at this guy in the red shirt? And hey, she's a dyke, and hey, he's fat, whatever it is. So it's the only way to mix it up because that's all they hear, the wait staff. They're like, oh, when you fucked with that guy in the wheelchair, that was great. And you're like, all right.
Yeah, that becomes the goal is to get a smirk out of I'm just looking at the wait staff.
Right, exactly. If you can get the staff to laugh, you're on to something. Or you're just fucking touched in the head because they're so jaded from hearing every abortion cancer joke that if you say something that gets them smirking, it's like a Holocaust AIDS gumbo thing, So sometimes it means you're just gone way too dark.
Do you ever think about this? There's like 2 types of comedians, the kind that are so deadly insecure, which sounds like us, and then the ones that there might be some, not making fun of autistic people, there might be something there where they don't feel it, and then so I don't know what I would rather. I'd rather be us because then we want to make it better. But
I think I'm a little of both.
Right. You don't have the good parts though, the math and the
exactly. Yeah, I got a bit about it.
Yeah, right. You're the only the weird parts of it.
I got all the side effects, like it's like if I got AIDS and got fatter, I'm like, oh, I got the deadly immune disease, but I can't lose weight.
Right. Yeah, it's so bad. Are you in therapy?
I haven't done it the whole pandemic.
What?
I was just like, let me see if I can do it because well, that's the thing about therapy is
there's your autistic side coming in, trying to lead the show.
First of all, I don't like the Zoom aspect. I don't want to Zoom with an old Jew, and then 2, I got the tools. I'm a big therapy advocate. I think everybody should go, but I got the shit. I learned about myself. I found what's wrong and I attacked it. And going back after a while, you start kind of going, is this helping? Am I just small talking with this old guy? Like, what am I doing here?
Right. Sometimes it feeds itself and you're just looking for, sometimes I look for problems.
Yeah, yeah.
I go, it's like stand up. It all comes back. And I go, what am I going to get him this time? I already
Right.
told him that my dad's gay. I'll like try to throw him off. I'll come out as something each time to see if he buys it.
Right. Or see if he's listening.
I'm just reliving my childhood. I'm just trying to impress, this old Jew. I got an old Jew. Is your guy an old Jew too?
Oh, I got the comedian therapist that every guy uses.
Oh, really?
You don't know about Alan?
I've heard about it, but I didn't want to do it because I don't like knowing that my therapist knows other people in my life. I get self-conscious about that. I feel like
it's weird.
Yeah, I want someone who doesn't have a therapist. It's like dating someone who's never dated a comedian. I don't want to know that they are talking to, know what our life. I want to be the special one.
Yeah, it's bittersweet because I can go, so I did the Tonight Show, I got a half hour, or the Comedy Cellar, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. You don't have to back up everything. Oh, well, the Comedy Cellar's this club in the Village. It's really hard to get into. You don't have to do all that shit.
Right.
But two, he basically knows everyone you're talking about. I'm like, this fat cunt was shitting on me on the internet. And he's like, oh, I know who he's talking about. So that part's weird.
But do you worry about following? Like, do you ever see like a comedian in the hallway? And you're like, oh, I got to go after, going after Sean Donnelly or Louis C.K. Fuck, I got how am I going to?
Yeah, it's a thought we've all had. And then Sam Morrill did a great bit about it. But yeah, of course, like, especially when you hear somebody really bringing it in there, like, and my dad fucked me in front of my uncle and it was confusing. And you're like, oh, geez, I was going to go in there with like a Twitter fight. And this guy's got a dad fuck face.
Yeah, it's like auditioning. You hear the audition, you go,
yes,
oh, I'm not going to get it. They're laughing exactly. And you go, oh, there's no way.
Right.
Jeez Louise.
It is the hallway is so awkward. You see like Mike Vecchione or Gary Gulman or one of these guys, and you're like, oh God, it's worlds colliding. Comedy's this fun, happy place, kind of, and then you see this shit, and the walls are paper thin, so it's.
Oh, you got to get a new therapist. Really,
I would get room out there.
Get someone who's not associated with comedy, and instead of the Zoom, do a phone call. That solved it for me. The Zoom was too awkward. So I just call them on the phone. I could do it from if I'm on the road or just not at home.
Yeah.
You don't rely on the Zoom. I don't want to see him.
The awkward pauses and the and then he talks and you talk. Then you're filling the silence and it's not natural. That's what I worry about.
Yeah, but I'm working on handling silence, so it's actually good.
Okay,
so sometimes I'll start and I won't say anything for like 30 seconds.
Right.
Just to be able to do that.
Wow, that's great. See,
yeah,
I could use some of that.
Yeah, and then there's some. Have you ever heard of EMDR?
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Do you have any childhood trauma you're trying to? Is there any like trauma you're trying to heal? That like is there anything? No, EMDR is a therapy technique.
Oh, okay. What am I? Oh, I'm thinking EDM. Sorry.
Yeah, EDM. Yeah. Maybe you can combine the two somehow.
I have ED. Does that help?
Well, maybe you can heal some of the trauma. EMDR is like when you're in REM sleep, you have rapid eye movement. So you have a therapist who's trained in it, and they have like headphones, and it connects your left and right brain. So you basically essentially they put you into REM sleep in a way. And they lead you through whatever traumatic, and it could be you get bullied in high school. It could be something small that's probably ruining your entire life you don't know about.
Yeah.
And you go back and they talk you through it. You relive the moment with your current adult skills, and you'll pause and you'll go back and you'll start to heal the trauma. They use it for like people have PTSD from war, but
really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. And is that you doing that?
Yeah. Well, before the pandemic, it's better to be in person. It's really intense because it's almost like they're hypnotizing you.
I got to try it. I'm in.
It's fucking amazing. Yeah. I'll send you a book. There's a book called The Body Keeps the Score where this guy describes it, but he explains like you could have PTSD from like a small event, from like your parent coming 10 minutes late to pick you up every Friday from soccer. Little things like that could fuck up your entire adult life.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
All right. You talked me into it because I got a million of those, and I feel like I don't have that one event. I never got diddled by my scoutmaster, but
doesn't matter.
I think I got the 10 minutes thing, and then the weird childhood, and the dad, and the anal. And so yeah, maybe it's the incremental.
Oh, your dad's gay too? I heard dad and anal.
Well, I had a weird nanny, and we lived in a house that got robbed all the time. And
Really?
oh yeah, my childhood was cuckoo bananas.
Are your parents alive?
Yeah, still together, still hanging in there.
They're still married. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But just all that weird shit with the I don't know. There was a lot of, I don't want to say neglect, but they were like workaholics, and they're good parents. They're good people, but
that's the thing. I finally learned it doesn't have to be a big event. It doesn't have to be the diddling and all that. It could, a little bit of neglect can shift your entire perspective on relationships, and then you start seeking out the neglect and all that stuff. So this book gave me the permission to be like, oh, okay, I had it rough enough to like try to get some serious help.
Right. No, I like it. I like that. Let's send me that book, Fatty.
I will. Because it's like, what are we doing? If you're doing stand-up or any sort of entertainment, you're trying to fix something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. There's a hole somewhere.
Every night you're trying to fix something.
Yeah.
Every single night.
I mean, I know that's a bit of a cliche, because I think, well, here's the thing about stand-up. This is going to sound super pretentious and douchey, but the audience is basically the instrument that you're trying to tune and fine-tune and play. You're playing the audience. The laughs, that's all you. You're conducting them with jokes. But you can't do it without them. You can write all the jokes you want, but you don't know if they're good. You don't know where they go. You don't know how to say them. So the audience is shaping your art, basically. And you want to play a guitar, you pick one up, you can play it for 9 hours in the basement, and you're killing it. But with jokes, you can't do it without the basement and full of people.
Right.
So I do 18 sets a night just because I want to keep playing that guitar, but that's the only way to do it.
Well, you're shaping a relationship, really, because it's not, you're both shaping each other. So it is like it is an unspoken relationship. Because you're leading them somewhere, and then you need them to respond, and then so it's like, to me, that's where I think it is some sort of healing that's happening, because you're every night and you're always fine tuning it. Oh, I need them to laugh there. Then, oh, they want me to say that there.
Yes.
But you don't want to you also don't want to go too far into that, because it also is really fun. So to me, it's like, I want to figure out why I'm so fucked up that I have to do this. Then I can heal that. But you still get to keep all the skills and the fun. Right.
Yeah. What is that about comedy, where we analyze the sadness of it so much? Like football, these nut jobs are playing head bashing games where they get CTE for a ball to get over a line. There's literally no purpose in it except just competition and to win. But that's it. And then we don't even focus on them. We're like, oh, yeah, those guys are fucking Neanderthals, and they wear helmets and cups and bash each other, and we call them the Eagles or the Giants.
Right.
But a comic, we're like, what is it? Is it psychological? Was he diddled? We only do it with comedy. I don't know why.
Probably because ours is vocal. We're just spewing all this stuff out. They're just tackling each other. You don't hear them talking at all. If they had little mics and they were like, oh, fuck you, Dad, I'm gonna fucking tackle this guy. Then they might be under the microscope like us. But there's
a sketch. The inner monologue of athletes.
Right.
That's funny because I'm not a huge sports guy. I like MMA. I like ping pong. But I think if I could know what they were thinking, I would be way more into it.
Right.
It's just a bunch of uniforms jumping around. So to me, it's not that stimulating.
Yeah, I don't really watch much of it, but that's why I don't have friends, I think, because I don't want to go. Well, I don't want to. Yeah, but,
I get it, but I just don't. It doesn't grab me.
Yeah, I'm more of a verbal guy, so I like hearing stories.
Same.
So you asked me about Burr, and
yes.
So what happened? You heard the podcast?
I listened to Bill Burt, and first I saw you post about it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to listen to that episode anyway. And they have an impressionist on. I forget the guy's name.
But Jeff Richards.
Jeff Richards.
Yeah.
And he had some great impressions. And then somebody came up and said, well, have you seen this Bill Burr impression? And they go, it's from a German guy. So they actually thought you were German. And then, which is a testament to the skill level. And then he fucking nailed it. And it was one of those where they weren't howling laughing. They were just like, oh my God, he's fucking killing it. Like, this is dead on. And Bill Burr's like, I know, this is the best one I've ever seen. Like, they're in awe of it, which is even more impressive.
Right. But they think I'm German, so it's like it's great. It's great. You just like because you got the gold when Seinfeld said your name during the there was a baseball game, right?
Yeah, Mets.
Right. You got the name drop. You got the hero saying, "This Mark Norman is the next guy."
Yeah.
So you got gold. I got some random German guy. So he doesn't even know. I don't think he knows I'm a comedian in New York City. He thinks I'm German.
I know, but it's kind of a fascinating thing because you were so good that you fucked yourself.
Well, that was my last attempt because I did the Shtick or Treat on your show where I did the impression. Then that got me a New York Times article, and then I go, I got to do more. So I did the master class. And for 4 years, every week, every day, has Bill seen it? Has he seen it? So then I don't know if you know, I did a hit impression of him on his podcast reviewing me, and I tricked everyone.
I did see that. I did see that.
So then that took care of it. It shut people up.
Yeah.
And then
but
came
he saw
back.
That, right?
I don't know if he saw that or not.
I think he saw that.
He's very quiet about it. So
interesting.
As my last attempt to get him to see it, I was like, all right, what if I do some gay German guy who then all of a sudden breaks into it? And it worked. It worked. But, what are you going to do?
If I ever see him, I'm just going to be like, I know this guy Tyler. He's the one doing you. Do you want me to tell him or do you want to keep the facade going?
No, he knows. He knows.
Okay,
I got a more or less a screenshot from his text, and he said he knows it. He loves it. But he said he's in physical pain when he hears it. So if you watch the Bill Burt, he is cringing because he knows it's coming.
Right. Well, nobody wants to hear themselves. Right.
Well, you posted a guy did an impression of you, and you reposted it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I want to, if it's good, I'll repost it because I want to help the guy out.
Sure.
But I'm not like in love with it. I'm not like, this is awesome. Good for you. Right. I'm just like, here you go, buddy.
Sure. I mean, I'm going to when I saw him, I never had any intention of doing an impression of you, but I have to do it now because I saw that guy. And it's an ego thing for me because it's like, well, I have to do it. Right.
And yeah, bring it on. But impressions, it's more of a copy of a copy. It's the impression of the impression, which I get. It has to be elevated and exaggerated. So I haven't heard a great one yet, but then what the hell do I know? I don't know what I sound like. I sound like me in my head, so I don't know what you guys hear.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I thought maybe I would do you and Sam Morril. Maybe that'd make it more palatable.
Can you do us both?
I probably could. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm intrigued. I'm excited.
So I just got an abortion. That's all I got of Sam Morril. So my girlfriend just got an abortion. That's all I have so far.
There you go.
That's it. I'll work on it. You got to go, buddy, right?
No, we just started.
Oh, I thought you said you had a show at 5.
Oh, it's an hour earlier here.
Oh, 5 your time. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, I thought you meant 4:30 in New York time. Okay. All right, good.
No. We're good.
I was moving it along because I thought we had 20 minutes. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. I ran out of questions. Yeah. So where were you when you heard the Seinfeld shout out? I mean, that must have been fucking mind blowing.
It was that's one of those things. Like, it's for me. Comics get it, but I got to tell you, I thought that would be it. Like, once I got that fucking passing of the torch or knighting or whatever you want to call it, I was like, I'm set. That's it. The biggest guy in comedy said my name exclusively. I am set.
It's dangerous in a way.
What do you mean?
It could be. I mean, so you thought that would blow you out of the water?
I thought that would propel me. Yeah, I thought that would be on every comedy newspaper and website.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't. Nobody gave a shit.
That's what I mean. I mean, it could be dangerous to have those expectations of somebody, shooting you to the moon. Because as we know now, after what you've been doing for 15 years?
Yeah.
10, yeah. That's
14.
just not. It's not how it works. It maybe for 10 people that happened, but
yeah, right.
You can't.
I was in Buffalo on 4th of July, which is a horrible weekend for comedy because everybody goes out. It's summer. They're partying, fireworks, drinking, picnic. So it's dead. I got like 8 people at every show. I'm headlining in Buffalo, which is already a bummer. And I come off stage. I'm fucking sweating. I ate my lunch up there. my phone is blowing up like a pinball machine. Seinfeld, side by side. I was like, what the fuck? And I check it, and I look at the video, and I shit my pants. I can't believe it. I'm like, oh, my God. I text him. That means the world to me. He's like, you got it, bitch. Go kill yourself, whatever he said.
He just goes, what if he just goes, I'm sorry, who's this?
Yeah, yeah. And that was a Friday night, and I was whistling Dixie all night. I got drunk. I was high-fiving people, showing everybody the video at the bar. So the next day I wake up, and I'm like, it's going to be sold out. Buffalo, baby. Sold out. And it was Saturday came, 8 people again. I think the Late Show, we had 10 people. Nobody saw it. Nobody cared. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is reality.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to have a reasonable expectation. You can use it. You did the right thing. You put the video up. People get excited. They go, oh, he just got validated by him. It's still it increases your stock. But you have to be careful, because when I saw the bill thing, I put my phone down. I go, okay, I gotta be reasonable here. I'll post it, but I saw your podcast talking about Seinfeld and you guys hanging out and stuff, and that's where I went. Oh, I pictured myself in his house cooking with him and his wife.
Yes.
I go, what am I doing? What am I doing? Don't do that.
I'll give you a fun. I texted him drunk one night because having his number is it's volatile.
Like
it's
a nuclear code.
Yes, exactly.
Comedy nuclear football.
Right, that's exactly what it is. And I just got that number. I'll just look at it, and I'll read our old texts. I scroll through. It's fucking embarrassing and sad. But I mean, how could I not? I grew up with this guy, and now I have the whole thing's bananas.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't make sense even.
No, it doesn't make sense. And so I had this idea for a sketch, and it was right kind of mid-pandemic, so we're all bored. We're locked up. We can't do anything. So I'm like, he's the comedy guy. He gets up 8 times a week. He's probably bored. I'll hit him up about this sketch. It's got cars in it. It's got New York in it. It's a shoe-in. It's a lock. And then I was like, what am I doing? I can't just send him sketches. Who the fuck am I? I wouldn't want it if some open micer was like, hey, we should do this video. I'd be like, ugh.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking I can do that? Like, who the fuck am I? So, but then the booze kicked in one night. It's 2 a.m. I sent him the text and nothing back. And the amount of shame and regret I felt for 3 weeks was unprecedented.
When was this?
This is probably like July or June.
Okay. And he never responded?
He did, maybe about 3 weeks later, and it wasn't pretty.
Oh.
It wasn't ugly. It wasn't like, fuck you, kill yourself. But it was like, eh.
Was that feedback on the sketch, or was it?
Yeah, I think so. Just like, I'm not doing that kind of thing.
Did you send him a script or an idea? An idea,
like a long paragraph. Like,
okay,
here's how we're going to do it. This is what it is. I think this will be funny. I think people will love it. And nothing.
Yeah, but you know what, man? But look, like, you flipped a coin. He could have said yes, and you could have done it. So
I took a shot.
Also, back to the open micer thing, that's different, because that would be like you going on Jimmy Fallon and saying, hey, this open micer's the next big thing, and then him reaching out to you. You wouldn't feel, you'd be like, well, I just said this guy's name on national TV. Of course he'd be,
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, I'd say just go for it. I mean, I called Bert Kreischer's manager yesterday.
Whoa.
Because I was like, well, what am I doing? They showed my video on the thing. They're a fan of the video. They've got an impressionist on. And this thing came over me. I'm just sitting on my couch, just like the likes are running out on the video. I go, all right, I got 48 hours while this thing's exciting to everybody. So it was like robotic. I just picked up the phone, went on his website, called his agent. I said, Bert Kreischer's a fan of mine. And he mentioned me showed my video on his podcast. And they said, all right, here's his manager's number. So I called his manager. I left him a message. And I didn't say I'm a fan of his. I said, let me do some reverse psychology. I said, I'm Tyler Fischer, and Bert and Bill are fans of mine, and they featured my videos on the podcast. I'd love to come on as a guest. Let me know your thoughts. And I might not hear back from him, but it's better that you sent Seinfeld the sketch than it would have been worse for you that could have haunted you for 5 years if you never sent it.
Yeah, well, kudos to that's a smarter, more professional way to do it. I got drunk and texted the guy like a you up. You hit the fucking manager. You never went through Bert. You never annoyed Bert. And it's a good idea. And they've already said they love it.
Yeah,
So,
but if I had Bert's number, though, I would have.
that's probably true. Probably
Yeah,
true.
if you emailed Seinfeld's manager and then he would have been like, why didn't you just text me?
Right, right. Good point.
You know.
But yours is better. Yours is more of a lock because they've already talked about liking the impression and how good it was. If Seinfeld said, I want to do a sketch like this, and I was like, I got the idea, he'd be looking for it. At least they already like it.
Sure. Yeah, I guess so. But he's a fan of yours, and we're all comrades. We're all just throwing shit to the wind. So,
Yeah,
but he's gonna need another show at some point. I mean, look, Larry David, they were walking around a fucking grocery store making fun of Chinese products.
Yeah.
And that started Seinfeld. So you never know.
Well, at the end of the day, I forgot my point.
Oh, you can't do it at the end of the day with no.
Oh, I got it back. At the end of the day, I realized I sent him an idea for a video because we're both in this like, got to get clicks, got to get online, got to be relevant, got to go viral. And he doesn't have that. He's like, I'd like to create a good show. I'd like to have comedians in cars. I'd like to have a stand-up career or whatever. So viral to him is like, viral? I have a TV show that comes on 4 times a day. What the hell are you talking? I don't need viral. You need viral. So in a way, it looked like I was using him for him, which is not good. So I think that's what the turnoff is.
Yeah, it's tricky. We're also in 2 different generations. We're in a different boat. I mean, this is our reality. But how do you avoid feeding into that? Because it's like, Seinfeld isn't looking at a report of his numbers every day. Well, though he probably was when the show came out. It was a different obsession for them. It was the ratings. It was like,
you're probably right. That's true. It's a different game now. It's the same game, but a different players and everything. So
there's just more numbers to look at. They had the Nielsen ratings and maybe Robert and Ebert's thumbs. They were looking at. So now we've got 20 different platforms.
True, but at least the show, he's looking at the numbers, obviously, the ratings, but he did that. He made that show. Like, I remember one time my friend, I'm not going to say who, he called Colin Quinn. He goes, hey, Colin, can I ask you a question? And Colin Quinn goes, how is this phone call going to help me? This phone call is not going to help me anyway. This is all for you. Let's get that out there right now. Like, I get nothing from this. This is all a favor for you. And he's completely right. And I think that's what Seinfeld was thinking. Like, what do I get out of this viral video? That doesn't help me. You get everything. You're seen with me in a video. I don't give a shit about YouTube, So I think that was the point.
Interesting. Well, how close was this guy to Colin, though? Were they friends?
They're buds. They're buds, but it's still new comic, legend comic. So Quinn is so smart, you can't get anything by him.
Yeah. Again, it's a lottery because you might get someone who's down.
That's true. Yeah. You got to take a shot. But the thing is, you got to play only a few shots. These guys who ask for a new thing every day, they're ruined.
Right. Well, you only asked him once, right?
I only asked him once and never again.
Okay. But you don't know. It might be just he didn't like the idea, though, right? Or do you think he really didn't like that you were asking him to be on camera with you?
Well, I think, first of all, the guy didn't want to do anything. He's just sitting at home like, I don't want to do that. That sounds like hell. But so I don't think the idea was amazing. So for him, he's like, doing this would require getting off the couch and doing work. And what if it turns out to be not that great? I got high standards of my work, so I can't just put out some shit. He already put out B-Movie. That was a bomb,
Shit. Yeah.
So he doesn't want another one of those. So I think he's just like, what's the upside for me? This is all downside. It's work. It might be and I don't need to go viral.
I think the only upside would be if it was fun. If you struck a chord with him and it was fun. Because at the end of the day, that's all we're doing. That's what we're doing now. That's what you're doing tonight. So if you
that's true.
If you connect on it's so case by case. I mean, I pitched a prank show and Sal Volcano, we weren't best friends, but we had just met, and he gave me a hand with the pitch and we sat down, and that guy owns True TV. I mean, they're so I took a risk, but he looked at my pitch, forwarded it to the network head. So that was a risk, but, I thought you only live once, and I only know one guy who's, on Impractical Jokers, and that's my thing, is doing pranks. So it could have gone either way for sure.
Yeah. No, I think, there's a million stories where they go, if I didn't ask, would it never happen? And then there's another million stories that say, I asked and I ruined everything. So you take a shot. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But you're also a decent, self-aware human being. There's also people who just try to shoot that shot every 10 minutes, and there's no talent to back it up, and they don't have a relationship with the guy. So I think you're okay.
It's a timing thing. Yeah. And I'm too self-aware. I mean, I was sweating when I called the manager last night. I was actually sweating.
But that's healthy. That's how you should be.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the fat guy who goes up and hits on the supermodel, and she's like, "Are you serious? Like, why would I want to fuck you? What are you, crazy?" But if he's another hot guy who's a millionaire who goes hits on the supermodel, at least there's some reciprocation there. This guy knows his wheelhouse.
Sure, but the fat guy could look like her dad, who left when she was. I mean, really, that stuff.
That
true. Stuff really happens. Or a gym teacher who grabbed their ass, and that just was abuse, but get the most attention she got that week. So I'm fascinated with what attracts people to each other, because I think there's a million things going on. And pheromones are a huge one.
Yes.
Huge.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, there's a certain scent that women will avoid at all costs. They don't even know, because it's similar to their dad, like having a baby with their dad, like something about the blood type.
Whoa.
Some crazy shit. Yeah.
Fascinating.
And we're not even aware of it.
You know what else is wild is, like, the subconscious is so powerful. Like, you meet this girl and she keeps dating alcoholics, and they beat the shit out of her. They throw her down the stairs. They're never around.
Yeah.
And she keeps dating alcoholics. You're like, why do you do it? This is bad. She's like, I don't know. I'm just drawn to them. And then you're like, what was your dad like? Alcoholic. Oh, well, but it's funny that we're smart enough to know that the dad is an alcoholic and these guys are bad for you, but you keep doing it.
No, we're so dumb. We're under the spell of something much bigger. I mean, I was dating crazy women, crazy women. And then I had to stop dating for 2 years. I almost completely stopped dating for 2 years because it was actually ruining my life. I would get involved with these practically mentally ill women who, are off fucking, but the last girl I dated fucked some guy in England, said she was going to visit a friend, turned out to be an ex who lived in Queens. I was like, you flew all the way to England to fuck a guy who lives off the N train. That was the worst. That was the worst part for me.
Wow.
After a lifetime of that, I said, I got to stop dating. I got to figure this out. And it was really, it turned out to just be a repetition of childhood stuff.
Oh, really? Was mom a little kooky or what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I mean, I found her trying to kill herself 3 years ago. Yeah. So that was it. It was saving women. Are you frozen?
No, I was just freaking out there. Holy shit. What dude, can I ask?
That was fucking amazing, dude. I go, what are the odds he froze at that moment?
What the hell happened? I don't want to get into it.
And then I felt abandonment from you because I thought I just killed Mark talking about the suicide. Yo, no, I've been doing serious therapy work for 3 years. It's like talking about the weather at this point for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, bring it on.
No. Yeah. So, found her trying to kill herself. And, it don't get me wrong. It was a wild experience, but because that happened, that's what threw me into therapy to realize, I keep essentially finding sick women that I have to save.
Uh-huh.
So it actually took me pulling my mother's body out of a lake. She didn't die. She didn't die. But that's what it took. So back to these women dating alcoholics. This has such a fucking spell over you that you really have to hit rock bottom as close to, death as possible.
Right.
To even have a chance of getting out of that.
Wow.
So it ended up being such a gift.
Yeah. Thank God you were there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But at the same time, I realized it wouldn't have mattered. It's like I've been doing that since I was 7 in different ways. thinking I was saving her.
Ah.
So the gift was, oh, you can't save anybody. So it's been a vacation because I don't give a shit about what anyone's going through. I could say I'm sorry to hear that, but it's not like, running to save them and putting my life on hold. It's like I feel this freedom now because of that. So
damn.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Wow. Well, you're a strong little son of a bee. That would fuck me up if I saw my mom. I've never seen my mom in a pool, let alone a lake.
Yeah. She was in a bathing suit too. How fucking funny is that? It was like such a mom. It was such a mom suicide attempt.
Yeah.
She packed a lunch. I'm not kidding. She packed a lunch and had a bathing suit on.
She had floaties.
Yeah. The suicide note was like, I can't do this anymore, but make sure you clean the kitchen. There's lasagna in the fridge. $2.75. Don't burn it.
Right. She left some orange slices on the table.
Yeah. So,
damn.
No, that EMDR did it. That trauma healing thing.
Now, does the therapist have to do a spell on you, or is it all in the book?
Yeah. So they put headphones on, and it's there's a beep that goes left to right, and then you have these pulsating knobs left to right, and it taps into the left and right brain to reenact REM sleep. You're going left to right in your brain waves or whatever.
Whoa.
So yeah. So then you kind of you talk it out, and it was like reliving it. Exactly. I'm sobbing. I mean, it's intense.
What?
Oh, sobbing. I don't cry in front of men. Yeah. I'm crying in front of this old Jew. And then he'll go, okay, stop. What do you see? Tell me what you see. Oh, I see my mom in the thing. And then you start to replay it, but you're using your skills. So you're playing it out how you should have done it. So by the end, instead of getting in the ambulance and going to the hospital and spending 3 years trying to fix it, I got in my car and went home. Got in the car with my dog, went home, took care of myself. So you actually rewire your brain. It's like you kind of go over these neural pathways and you regroove your brain.
Yeah. Well, it's going to sound bad.
Sure.
But I think it is almost better for you that this was like a big incident and one incident, or this one was a big one incident. When it's a bunch of little ones over time, it's got to be harder to rewire because you got to go through each one.
That's called complex PTSD. So that's what you got.
I think so. I mean, I'd wet the bed at 17 sleepovers, but it wasn't one; it was all of them. Yeah,
I've got that too because I was taking care of my mom since I was 7, so it was like. It was a daily trauma. And then this was the big one that revealed all of them.
Got it.
So there's 2 types. There's PTSD where you experience something crazy at once, or you experience it once over time. That one's a little trickier.
See, this is cool because you look at you, you're a funny guy, you're doing impressions, you're on a scooter, you got a cute dog, but nobody thought your mom's suicidal and you're saving her and you're dating psycho ladies.
And that's most of my life.
That's what's fun about getting to know somebody.
That's 99% of it. The stand-up is 1%. That's the 10-minute escape. I can not have to talk about it. But that got me through it. Having that at night to go and I was hosting Hot Soup a lot at the time as well.
Yeah.
Your old show. So it was like, ooh, I have 10 minutes to forget about this shit.
So what the hell do you think's going on out there? I mean, we all bitch about the industry, but you're so good at these things and you're such a talent. You're a natural. Where's SNL? Where are these cunts? Why aren't they knocking on your door? What do you think it is? Honestly.
It's a lot of things. And it's like everything now, people want to simplify, and everything is usually 1,000 things, True.
It's complex, it's nuanced.
I've given a lot of thought to it. I think it's, there's an overswing of the pendulum for white guys have had it the best forever.
Right.
And fair enough. You know what I mean? It's going to swing. And I think right now it's swinging so far to the point where people will explicitly say, not even going to let you in the door because you're white. I mean, the last time I got a every year somebody would see me and go, "You got to get on SNL," and I'd get the big meeting Jim Carrey, flying out meeting Jim Carrey's manager.
Wow.
Every year it would be this big thing, like, oh, this is
Here
it.
it is.
This is it. And after 10 years of that, you got to go. I mean, it's part of why I started the podcast and the Patreon, and that's it.
Good.
So I'm not going to play a victim in any of this.
No.
But it's good to know what's going on. So, the last agent I got an email. They fired me, and they just said, "Tough out there for white dudes." That was the whole email. I saved the email. I've got that email.
Save it.
And I go, I can't believe people can say that now with
That's hilarious.
If someone said, we can't help you, you're black, it's like $10 million lawsuit,
I know.
And to me, it's like, if you're going to have equality, it's got to be across the board. So I'm not playing that game of like, oh, well, take a seat because someone who had your skin color for the last X amount of years. It's like, no, we all just got to the party,
Right,
So,
exactly. It's actually what people bitch about cops are doing. When a cop pulls over a black guy and they go, "You fit the description," every black guy goes, "Fuck you, I'm my own person. I'm not every black guy. I'm an individual." And that's how you feel as a whitey. You're like, hey, I'm not every white guy.
it's the same thing. Yeah.
It's the same thing. But when cops do it, it's bad. But when the industry does it, nobody cares. But it sucks because, like, it's again, to use the word bittersweet, the internet is a cum guzzler, but it's also this great savior. Like Kyle Dunnigan is a guy like you who's fucking hilarious, brilliantly funny. Because a lot of people can do impressions, but not that many people can do impressions and are funny.
Yeah, Kyle, I just discovered him, and I spent 2 hours on his Instagram last night, just like
He's great.
crying.
And Joe Rogan, I mean, this guy's been doing it for 20 years and just never really caught.
Yeah, how
Joe
old is
Rogan,
Kyle, would you say?
What?
How old is he, Kyle?
I think he's late 40s.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, but he's been doing it forever. I mean, I used to open Amy Schumer with him, and like he was cracking us up in the green room like, this guy's the funniest guy on the planet, but nobody knew who he was. And then Joe Rogan started pumping him out, and now he's finally catching some steam. Finally.
Yeah.
And who knows if he's making any money, but like the guy's fucking amazing, and he's funnier than like Frank Caliendo or some queef on SNL. But it's a weird time.
I think he'll thrive because he's so funny, and it's just a matter. I mean, whatever. He could start Patreon and make $100,000 a year if he wanted. So
I hope. Yeah. And that's the new world order. So use it. The internet, it'll kill you. It's addictive and it's mean and it can cancel you and all that shit. But if you utilize it and use it for your own gain, I think it's a special thing.
No, it's we don't even understand how powerful it is. I mean, you have do you have 5 million views on your special?
5.5.
5.5 million. I mean, you can't really even I
know.
Fill enough football stadiums to make 5 million people.
Right.
It's fucking insane. And you put that up on your own, right? You did it on your YouTube page.
Yeah. Which is nice. And people come out now. It's like we were recommended this randomly on YouTube. We ended up watching it, and they go, "Look, honestly, most stand-up on YouTube is fucking horrific." And I go, "I get it. I know. My old stand-up is on YouTube, and it's horrific."
Sure.
So I totally understand. They took a shot. Thank God they did, and now they're buying the albums. They're coming to shows. They're listening to podcasts. So it helps. And then I have control of it. I own it, and you get to count those numbers and watch it grow and grow and grow. Netflix, it's just. You don't get those numbers. That's just off in the wind.
I remember I was happy when you did it. I know you were like, I'm sure it was tough to try to sell it and then go, all right, I'll do it myself. But I remember thinking this is way better because it's undeniably funny. And then you get that direct. People can't comment on Netflix. I think you underestimate the comments. They get it that they're talking to you, even if you don't have to. Obviously, you can't respond to all of them, but that direct line to you, a little whatever note they write, you can't do that anywhere else.
Right. And I read every goddamn one of them.
Do you really?
Well, maybe I've missed a few, but I read them all. And I look at this. If somebody calls me a hack or a fag or makes fun of my Adam's apple, my ears, I'm like, whatever. I can blow right past it. But some shit, I'm like, I do that. Oh, that joke is actually factually inaccurate because that's a good point. And I take it all in.
That's good. It's healthy.
I don't know if it's healthy, but
Well, it's healthy to consider it a little if it's a form of constructive criticism. I mean, why not? If you get 1,000 comments, that's going to be those are going to be honest. If it's your manager or your agent or some guy who loves you, they're not going to be honest with you. So there is something kind of pure about it. I mean,
yeah, I agree. I mean, I want the results, and I want to know. I mean, a laugh is a agreeance or disagreeance, or it's a result in some way. And I look at this as almost some feedback too. A laugh is feedback, and comments are a little bit of feedback. Some are obviously just horse shit, like I hope this guy kills himself or whatever.
Sure.
And you're like, well, that's just my inner monologue. But some are helpful.
Yeah. I try not to get. I'm making a new rule. I can't interact with any negative ones because don't
interact.
I gotta. Someone the other day was like, "Oh, I watched your old Bill Burr and it just ruined it for me." And I got into it, and I go, "What am I doing?" Like, don't
engage.
No, it's not healthy.
And look, it's so tempting, and you want to go fuck you, but it never pays off. It's never satisfying. No. Some guy like Bill Burr, the real Bill Burr, did SNL monologue.
Yeah,
I saw all these tweets about how he's a racist. So I saw one guy goes, well, his wife's black. And they go, whatever. And you're like, what do you mean whatever? You call the guy the worst thing on the planet, and then they prove you wrong with a beautiful fact that you can't deny, and you go, whatever? How about, I'm sorry, I was wrong, I take it back. Like, fuck you. This isn't about what you actually think. This is about you winning and getting a scalp on the wall and all that. And that's what fucking drives me crazy.
Yeah. The no comment on negative comment rule, I think, will save you, because it'll just we're 7 times, our negative emotion is up to 7 times as high as a positive one. So if you're walking down the street and you see Seinfeld gave you a shout out, and then you step in dog shit or someone calls you a fag or whatever it is, that the negative one is 7 times as strong. So that's why you're looking at the waiters' faces.
Right.
It's such a useful thing to know. I'm so happy I learned that, because you got to be aware. That's a really important thing to know about humans.
That's huge. You mean you just feel it more, or it resonates more? What do you mean 7 times?
Up to 7 times. It's 7 times as powerful. So that's why the bad little thing during the day will crumble you, or the 2 people in the crowd who are checking their watch. That's exactly why we have such a awful reaction to that.
Interesting. That's great to know. That's a great little tool in your belt, because you go, that one hurt, but 7 times more.
You go, body's just doing its thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can call it out, or start to know, okay, don't look, just don't look. That's why it's like, don't respond, don't look, because you're going to be wasting a lot of time getting into it.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And look, just to pull this thing all back together, we bitch, we moan, you get the email, tough out there for a white guy, but at the end of the day, I got to stop using that phrase. You're a New York comedian.
Yeah.
You're working. You have a podcast. Bill Burr knows who you are. Bert Kreischer knows who you are. You're performing. People love what you do. I mean, that enough is.
Oh, it's huge.
Obviously, we all want more, but we got to remember that's fucking great.
Yeah, I mean, I write my own goals and I define my own success, and it's usually in small doses, which also helps me. So it's. My last one was record an album and sell the album, which I did, and I got it on Sirius. And then, so it's like, to me, I don't, I don't, there's also a lot of luck in this industry. So I'm not saying it's just because of the white guy thing. That's a portion of it.
Right.
A portion of it's luck. A portion of it's, whatever. Michael Che blocked me on Instagram. And whatever. It's like there's gatekeepers who don't like it for whatever reason. Yeah. And that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, there's people out there who are like, Goodfellas, it's not for me. And then people are like, I don't like Star Wars, but Star Wars is the biggest fucking movie ever made, or whatever the hell it is. They got 8 sequels and Comic-Con and lines out the block. But it's just, you take the good with the bad. It's just how it goes. But I don't know. We could be doing a lot worse.
Yeah. To me, it's like, if I define my own success, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my favorite thing in the world. So
Yes.
I think, what I think the thing is, I only think about it when people ask, why aren't you more successful?
Right.
So I'm almost pandering to them by looking for I'm looking for excuses to give them, but
right.
on my own, I'm going, well, they're my goals and I'm checking them all off. So
yeah, I'm actually sorry I brought it up.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But it's also important because I feel bad for new guy. If you just start doing stand up, you got to be aware that people are going to say things like, there's too many white guys.
Right.
And if you don't have the thick skin to handle that, you're going to kill yourself or quit or whatever. So, dude,
I was just thinking about that today. Like the early days and the open mics and the poverty and the rejection. I started 22 or whatever. I was so young. I was so drunk. I was so naive. If I had known the hurdles that were ahead of me, I probably would have just not even tried. It helped to be so delusional and an idiot. So I don't know if I could do it again. I don't know if I could. It was so hard.
No, you have to be a certain amount of blind to get through it.
Yeah.
But something different with you stood out because you were working more than anyone that I knew. Was that a conscious decision?
Yeah, I just wasn't good, and I wanted to get good. And to me, I don't mind labor. I've had horrible jobs like janitor, construction worker, busboy, furniture mover. So to me, getting up on a stage and talking isn't that big of a deal. People are like, you do 4 sets a night. I'm like, yeah, I went on the subway. I went to a show, did it, got back on the subway, did another show. That's nothing, baby. And I'm moving around New York. I'm on my feet. It felt good. I was alive, and people are like, how do you do it? You're such a hard worker. I'm like, this is not work.
You start at 8 p.m. It's not like,
Yes.
It's like
That's
8
insane.
to midnight.
Look, traveling sucks. You got to pack a bag. You got to go through security. But then you sit on a plane. They bring you water. And then you get off the plane. You get an Uber. You go to the hotel. You tell jokes. You get a high five. Maybe you get a BJ. You get a slice of pizza. You go home. You do it again. I don't know. It's not so bad. And people are like, oh, he's such a hard worker. I'm like, look, writing is hard. I get it. It's hard to, your feet hurt, but you got to get up and write in the hotel room. But what do you want to put up drywall?
The bar is very low.
It's not that bad.
The bar is very low for work and stand up. And I think for guys like you and I who do, I would just want to ask you this. Do you have a structure throughout the day where you sit down and set the timer and really that'll make or break you.
Yeah, you got it right. That's the only way. Look at all the successful people. They're all hard writers. They write a ton. They do a lot of work. And all I do is I go, okay, it's Saturday. I'm in Oklahoma City doing a weekend. I woke up a little hungover, and I go, all I got to do is write for 2 hours today. So I'll go, all right, I'm going to get breakfast. I'm going to walk around the town square. I'm going to jerk off. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to do some push-ups. I got my day planned out. I can't wait. But all I know is from 2 to 4, I'll be writing. And that's it. That's all I got to do.
So you do 2. You're 2 hours.
I do 2 because, you say 2 and then you check your phone on accident. You take a shit. You watch TV for 10 seconds. You lay down. You get back up. So it's really about 1, but there's so much miscellaneous dog shit.
Do you ever try a timer?
Yeah, I put the time. I just look at the clock. I go, all right, it's 2:03. I'll stop at 4:03.
Even an hour a day it puts you so far ahead.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
And when you get on that stage and you didn't do it, and when you do it, you're like, oh man, it's like all the nuts are a little tighter, the gears are a little more lubed up, because you're already been thinking about it, and it shows. And how many guys are fucking wake and bake, go back to bed, you have a beer midday or another beer, and then they just I'll figure it out up there. And you're like, all right, you can do that, and I've done it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you're going to add, if you keep doing that, you're just adding more years onto how much you have to do, how much longer it's going to take.
How much has a podcast helped you as far as talking things out, talking out ideas out?
I think it helps a ton. You come up with a bit, you might not, because we have to rely on a bit to just hit us in the shower. Like, oh yeah, I never thought about dogs and cats or whatever.
Right.
So with the talking out, it kind of jostles it a little more, and then it falls out of the vending machine a little better. And, you know, I think it's just podcasting is part of the game now. So I think it's good to do a couple and learn how to talk on a radio and be interesting.
Especially now, because we're not living life. There's not a whole lot of life to be lived.
Well, that too, yeah.
That's kind of why I started it, because I thought I haven't talked in 6 days.
Yeah, right. And if you can get the audience to know you, I think, look, your jokes are important, the impressions are important, but if they know you and like you and feel like they understand you and connect with you, they're more likely to come out.
Right. That's amazing. Okay, so you've got, 2 podcasts now, right? Tuesdays with Stories with Joe List.
Yep.
And Sam Morril, One More Drink?
We might be drunk. We changed the name like 7 times.
I noticed that.
We'd pick a name and realize somebody else had it.
Okay. I watched it. I don't really watch podcasts, but I have been watching that one, and it's very enjoyable.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's just a hang. It's just we get drunk, we hang. I've known the guy for 12 years or whatever, and we have a good rapport. And it's a pandemic, so why not put some shit out?
Nice. What are you working on anything now, or just
working
the next special?
Always working on the next special. I got about 40 minutes of killer, and I just want to blow it out to 60 minutes, you know. But hey, no rush. Mine came out in May, so it hadn't even been a year yet. And it's a pandemic, so it's hard to build material. But working on 2 TV shows.
Whoa.
I mean, that sounds cool, but I'm always working on 2 TV shows. I've probably pitched 18 shows and gotten far, but never sold it. A lot of, hey, if you were black, we'd sell this, whatever it is, you know.
They really do say that, though. I
know.
They really say it. I had to sign a contract that said, so this was a prank show about me doing pranks. I had to sign something that said, if a network picked it up, they can replace you with the minority. And I said, I wouldn't sign it, and they threw the whole deal out.
Whoa!
I mean, that was part of the reason. We did challenge some other things in it. The pay was low and stuff, but we're like, there's no way.
I would have signed that in a second.
You would have?
Well, get the show made, because then you get over that hump. Now you're a show creator. Now you're in the mix.
Right. Well,
but I get it.
Well, we had a lawyer come and say these are the things we want, and then they just wouldn't. You know how serious somebody is when you start to negotiate, and then they go, never mind.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. 18 shows. I mean, holy shit.
Game shows, cartoons, sitcoms, reality show ideas. Just
all right. So are you at the point now where you saw, 5.5 million people watched my special? Why don't I just do it on YouTube?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And I've kind of been leaning that way. Like I've been putting up little sketches and just weird shit like, hey, here's Park Normand, here's me in the park, and you get a guy to edit it well and make it look nice. And that shit is catching on more than most of the shit I do, like the man on the street stuff.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, it's just like, just film funny shit and put it out there. Cause I used to be in this box of like, okay, what's the format? Okay, who are my characters? What's the setting? And I'm like, fuck that. Just go be funny in a random place and film it. I was trying to find the structure. What's my thing? Am I a man on the street guy? Am I a video Nathan for you guy? And I'm like, fuck that. Just go do it and make it happen.
That's the key.
Some of it sucks and some of it's bad.
Yeah, you just have to do it. That's another reason I did get sucked into the vortex of we're going to make you a star. I spent 10 years going on that journey, and then I realized they'd go, no, don't film this because we'll film it on the TV show.
Right.
But that is one more element to why, I'm not exactly where I want to be. So when I decided to stop doing that, then I was like, oh, I'll just go make stuff. That's it.
That's it. Oh,
that's it.
I lost you there.
Oh, there you are.
Okay. Yeah. So just go do shit. And look, some of it's gonna suck, but at least you make shit. And then when you find the shit that sucks, you go, okay, we won't do that again. And that's the only way to get better is to fail. And
it's really about working the muscle, getting used to just cranking stuff out. That's what you have to do.
Crank. And then you can start getting better at cranking, and then your quality gets better. So now you're cranking out mediocre to above mediocre to good to really good, and then you're off and running.
So you mean don't go on Clubhouse and listen to Instagram stars tell you how to be successful for 4 hours?
No.
Done that yet?
If half of them didn't have a fat ass and a small waist, they wouldn't be popular either.
I got stuck on that app. I joined it, and next thing I know, I'm waiting for Elon Musk to come on, and the app crashes. I spent 4 hours listening to, these are the books you read. I go, what am I doing? I go, I literally just stopped working to come listen to people tell me how to work. So get off a Clubhouse. Don't get stuck in that trap.
Okay, good to know, because I was intrigued. I was like, what is it? Tim Dillon was telling me, he's like, it's so fun, you're gonna love it. I was like, oh,
no,
it's a gay thing.
It's just rooms where successful people tell less successful people how to become successful. That's it.
That's it?
I mean, you could start any room you want. You could start a room about how to be a comedian or whatever, but it's just another place to waste time instead of making
That's
stuff.
what it is. That's what it is. Get me out of my life. Get me out of my head for 2 hours.
Yeah. I spent 5 hours on it.
Did you see any tits or anything?
No, you can't see anything. It's just chatting.
What?
It's all chatting. You can't see. That's their hook, is you're just listening.
That's interesting. Isn't that funny how everything just comes back around? Like, we invent the radio. You got 10-year-olds sitting on the floor staring at the radio with a sweater on. Then cut to 50 years later, we got the internet. We're interacting. We got virtual reality. We got porn online. We got all this shit. And then now everybody just goes back to podcasting because it's back to radio. You know?
This doesn't have any video. This is really the radio.
There you go. And it just keeps coming back around. It's like the kid with the video game system who ends up playing with the box. You just play with the fucking
that's Clubhouse. Clubhouse is us playing. We're playing with our MacBook Pro box, and it's literally like building a fucking Clubhouse out of boxes.
There you go.
But I was gonna say one last thing. All right, your special that God damn it. I did a sleep study the other night. How's your sleep, by the way?
Horrible. Well, tell me about this.
Oh yeah, no, I've been having night terrors since I was a kid. It all comes back to the trauma. When your dad comes out of the closet when you're 7, and then you're raising a suicidal mom, it's just part of it's just sewn in. But you don't sleep well.
No, the brain just won't stop. I have to sleep with an ear pod in, playing a podcast, just so I can focus on that and not my own shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Don't you become dependent on it? Do you become dependent and then
I do, and then I did it when I was a kid. I'd put the FM station on. I'd listen to like Loveline or Sleepless in Michigan. My wife died and I can't get it up or whatever, and I would be like, that's nice, But now I do it because I got the girlfriend next to me, so I do an AirPod.
And Greg, is Greg in bed with you
Greg?
guys?
No, we don't let him in the bed.
Congrats on Greg. He's beautiful.
Dang, yeah, Maine Coon, but he's bigger than you.
I saw. Yeah, I know. I ran into your girlfriend at the vet, actually. I was walking by the vet, and
was she getting neutered?
She was. Yeah, she neutered me and paid for the procedure. But your cat fetches. I saw.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's the dog of cats. That's what they call the Maine Coon. I mean, it fetches. It like jumps on your leg and pants and everything. It's just like a dog, but it's a cat.
How has it changed your quality of life?
I got to tell you, I was against it, and we made a pact.
Loved him.
Well, look, hey, I'm a good liar. Yeah. No. We made a pact. I said, I don't want a cat. She said, I want a cat. I said, all right, well, we can get a cat, but you have to do everything. Don't call me when the fucking litter box explodes and there's shit everywhere and it needs its shots and all that. I was like, don't. That's all you. And she was like, I don't want to do that. I was like, well, those are my rules. And she said, okay. So it's pretty great because now I get to hug it and pet it.
I know. I saw you on the couch just doing fetch. And
I got the positives. And I could take it or leave it because it's still a lot of work. You still got litter traced all over your floor and it still jumps up on the counter and pushes your water bottle off. But I'm not picking up the shit.
Would you have kids then? Because this doesn't sound like you would.
Well, kids I would do because those are yours. This is a fucking cat that somebody got out of a box at Walmart. A kid I would do because it's your kid.
The blood's in there. You can feel it. You need to save it. Yeah.
And you can talk to it. You can hug it and give it a noogie and say, how you feeling? You tuck it in. A cat just like, you try to touch it. It sniffs you.
Right. I got the dog here and I love it. It's great, but it's, I go, he doesn't even know my name.
Yes.
He doesn't know I'm a comedian. People ask if he's my best friend. I go, what are you, a psychopath? Like who, if you can't land a human best friend, you're doing it wrong.
And how about this? You could have that dog for 500 years and you will never make it laugh.
That's true. Yeah.
Isn't that as a comedian, that fucks I can't wait to tickle my kids and say knock knock jokes and, push them in the bushes. But A dog will never laugh.
It'll never laugh. Yeah, if you had a best friend that never laughed at you, you'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Of course. Yeah, it'd be a nightmare. Cats too. They don't laugh. They just stare at you and do this. They do the weird head cock, like, huh?
Right.
That's about it. Every now and then I get a hairball or a queef, but no chuckle.
There's nothing. Yeah, if you had a best friend that you treated like a dog, you'd also be in jail. Be like, this is Kevin. I keep him in a cage. I found him on the internet. I sent his parents $2,000. So sit down, Kevin. Sit down.
Right. You hit it with a rolled up newspaper. It shits in a box. Yeah.
That's 2 red flags. If someone says my dog is my best friend or my mom is my best friend.
Ooh, I've never heard that.
You've never heard that on a date?
Maybe friend. I don't know about best friend. Yikes.
Oh man, it's pretty common, I think.
Ugh.
Oh, my mom is. I go. I wouldn't consider dating anybody who has a parent that's a nightmare. That's a
nightmare
waiting to happen.
Those guys who call, I talk to my mom every day on the phone. I'm like, every day? I see my mom twice a year. We got nothing to say.
That used to be me. I was one of those guys.
Well, you're on suicide watch. You work for the hotline. I mean, that's a different story.
Yeah, the other day she texted me. She said, call me. I'm upset. And I just looked at my phone and put it down. I go, she might kill herself, but I'm making salmon. I was literally just took us. I go, I spent $20 on salmon. I said, I'll make the salmon, then I'll call her.
There you go.
Hopefully
she's alive.
Save yourself. She might not be, but that's fine. And then I can talk about
God.
it. No, I'm kidding. Oh, geez. All right, I'll cut that part out.
When I was growing up, when I was a kid, my parents were like, big nerds. They did their taxes. My dad wore a bad suit. My mom was a teacher, and they were always bummed out and working. And as a kid, I was like, I wish my parents were cool. Got drunk, smoked weed, and all that. Now I'm like, I'm so glad my parents were just adults.
No, do you know people that have moved back with their parents during the pandemic?
Oh yeah. Which I'm like,
sad. It is sad.
I don't know how the fuck you do that.
No, because they think they're friends, and it's like, no, they don't give a shit about you. They don't want to hear.
No.
You know who it was? I think I'd mentioned Jordan Peterson to you. He got me through the rough suicide patch time because the guy is a master of human behavior.
He really is, yeah.
But he said, this blew my mind. He goes, some people's parents hate them.
That's true.
And I was like, whoa, I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
He goes, you don't know how common it is that parents actually don't like their kids. And then I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's inevitable. There's a lot of shitty kids out there and you sure it came out of you, but you don't get to pick your kid. It's going to happen.
Right. So he's got one of his rules in his book is don't let your kids do anything that makes you not like them. So I use that rule now, like for my dog, for friends.
Huh. Interesting.
It prevents
what if you're a homophobe though and your kid's gay?
Well, I got the gay dad. I'm primed for that. I was the only non-straight person in my family for a while.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah. My dad came out. It was me and my two brothers and my dad. My dad came out, then my brother came out. My other brother went to college, so it was me living with 2 gay guys, and then they had their boyfriends. So I was the straight minority, and I was getting bullied left and right. I was the breeder, and it's all the same. It's all a power grab. It just depends who the minority is. So
see, that's fucking hilarious. That's human nature.
I wished I was gay. I really I started watching musicals. I think I tried kissing a guy in college just to be like, well, I gotta have something to talk about at Thanksgiving. I gotta get some D.
Yeah, that was the best night of my life, by the way. But it's true. I mean, it's just human nature. We act like, hey, Whitey is this big racist. I'm like, no. Have you seen Asian people and Koreans and whatnot? I mean, we're all just people. Like
I love that
label
look.
it.
I like that.
Sorry, I'm watching out for the Korean
Asian look.
Sushi chef behind me.
No, it's so true. It's such
it's true. Yeah, whatever the minority. I grew up in a black neighborhood. I was a honky faced cracker white boy, and it was fucking brutal.
Does that irk you when you hear this? Like, it's America's the only racist country. White people are the only racist race. It's like, well, have you not traveled? Have you not been to New Jersey?
Yeah.
Have you
Well, it's this weird sheep-like mentality where you're like, you don't even want to explain it to them because you're like, you're so out to lunch, you don't even fucking know. And me telling you isn't going to all of a sudden change your mind. Right.
That's true. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to.
I just move on. Einstein said a smart person fixes a problem, a genius avoids it. And I feel like fuck it. Why am I fixing this guy's issues? What's that going to do? I'm walking away in 5 seconds. I'm just going to avoid it. Let some other guy deal with it.
Fuck, I like that because I get too engaged now. Like I
Yeah.
don't. If there's a group of comedians going, "Oh, this guy's just another fucking straight white guy," and I go, "Guys, I'm sitting right here. Like, how could you say that in front of me?" And I'm like, maybe you're right. Maybe it's a fine line because I want to stand up for myself, but I also don't want to like have it consume me.
Yeah, it'll consume you, and it festers. I get that too, where you're like,
Then I start talking to myself, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is not.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many bars. Like I grew up in Louisiana, like just sitting at a bar and guys would just start saying the N word and this and the N word and that. And it's the reason that, and you're just like, oh shit. And you're like, I'm getting out. If I go, hey buddy, that ain't right. What's that gonna do? And I get it. Like stand up for what's right every now and then, but you gotta pick your battles here.
Yeah, it's a lot harder than people think, actually, also to stand. I mean, that's how the entire Holocaust happened, was people who just eventually let so much stuff slide,
Good point.
That's why I always think about that, because it's Jordan Peterson got me to think, he said, when you think about the Holocaust, think of yourself as a Nazi. Don't think of yourself as a victim, because the odds are you would have went along with it.
Oh,
that changed my whole life, because I go, holy shit, he's right. I mean, there's like a 99% chance that you would have gone along with it, you as your current person.
Totally. I mean, everybody's pretty weak, and everybody's mostly, the motivation for most people is not getting pushing against the envelope, not
avoiding
getting
conflict.
wished out, not getting canceled, not getting like ostracized. That's the word
from
I'm
the
looking
tribe.
for.
Yes.
You want to stay in the tribe. You want to be a good boy and not get yelled at. So you're going to start yelling at the person everyone else is yelling at, so you just fit in.
Right, which could be so dangerous. It only takes a tiny minority of people to create something Holocaust size.
Interesting.
And it mostly happens from people not fighting back, not standing
right.
up. That's why I'm like, I shouldn't say anything, but also I could see this getting pushed so far. If I'm getting fired for being white and no one blinks an eye, and I can't even tell someone it hurt my feelings without them saying, yeah, but white people have had it. So I'm like, well, I got to do something. I got to at least speak up.
Nah, that makes sense. You got a point there. But again, Einstein's when the
a
Holocaust
smart guy.
When that was going down, he got the hell out of there and went to America.
Jesus.
So I guess
Christ.
he did avoid it.
Well, and it's also essentially happening in China right now with Muslims. And I'm like, why isn't that a headline every day?
Wait, what happened? What's going on?
Well, there's concentration camps in China.
Is that right?
Yeah. What? There's videos. Muslims, they shave their heads. They're in camps. It's like, this is happening again, and no one's doing anything. We knew about the Holocaust in America when it was happening, and it was like, it took a while for us to step in.
Right.
So
fascinating. I mean, all this shit's out of whack. Everybody hates Louis C.K., but Cardi B used to drug her guys and steal their wallets and shit. You're like,
really?
Yeah. See, nobody knows about that either. It's just like,
that was a double standard.
That was in the paper and shit. And like, there was 10 seconds of like, hey, Cardi B, what's this about? And then it blew over.
Well, it's just too many standards now based on your race and gender and,
Right.
It's going to lead to something bad, but how do you, I know you got
I got to start wrapping up.
Got to wrap up. All right. We'll get 2 minutes. Is that good?
Yeah. Perfect.
So how do you, cause you do push the envelope a little bit on stage, and you do talk about some stuff that it isn't even really sensitive, but nowadays is like, you can't even touch it. How do you, I don't know. How do you do it? How do you push through it? Because
two ways,
yeah.
And it ain't easy, by the way, especially the early stages when the bit isn't done.
I've seen you in the early stages for 10 years. I've probably seen 30 hours of your early stage stuff. So
sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all right.
But it's got to have a punch. It's got to be funny. I mean, what's that old Oscar Wilde? If you're going to tell the truth, you better be funny.
Right.
And it's got to be funny. It's got to hit. If the crowd laughs, people kind of just let it slide. It's kind of like if you're making fun of a black guy and he's laughing at you, nobody gives a shit. But if you just start talking about black people alone, it looks way weirder.
Right.
So if you can get that room to laugh at it, you're usually okay. And also, I'm not really using any opinion. I'm just going as an outsider looking in going, isn't this weird that this is this way and that is that way? And I just lay it all out for them. I don't go, this sucks because of this and this guy shouldn't buy. You know, I'm not really like getting angry or emotional. I'm just saying these are the key parts. This doesn't add up to that, and isn't that interesting, or whatever it is.
You're like the news, how the news used to be, where you present it, then people decide. What's the? I hate that you wrote this joke because I want it so bad, but it's about trans people, and then is it short people who don't have bathrooms? Midgets. So what's the premise? Trans people have bathrooms. Why don't midgets have their own bathrooms?
Yeah, I mean, it's this weird thing where, and this is where it gets dicey. It's like, okay, trans people need help because they're this, huge minority and everybody treats them horribly or they're ostracized, whatever, they're marginalized. But so are little people. Yeah. But we don't help them. And you're like, little people have the hardest lives of all. Like nothing is built for them, literally. Like we just built things for the average person. Yeah, you're a shorter guy.
I have 3 pillows on my computer chair, and this computer is up on books right now.
Well, like, at least a trans person can walk into a bathroom and sit on a toilet, whether you got genitals in a certain way or not. But a midget, the toilet's 10 feet tall to a midget. But we don't focus on that because it's just not trendy. It's not in vogue. We just kind of pick these things and go with it. That's just human nature. And that's where the role of the comic comes in to go, well, what's going on here? Yeah. And I'm not saying we shouldn't help trans, but I'm saying if we're helping them, why not them? So it's all neutral. It's all just, hey, going by your set of rules, right? This should be a thing.
My dong hits the toilet seat all the time on the urinal, and then I got to go use the kids' toilet. So that's why I love that joke, because I was like, I thought about that for years. Wait, why don't I get my own bathroom? And it's logical. It's well done, and you can see it out to lunch on YouTube. Mark Norman. Bud, thanks so much for coming on. Have a great 3 shows tonight.
Yeah, I gotta go take a shower.
All right, clean up. La Hoyam. Love you. Thanks, buddy.
Love you too, Fatty.
See you, Fatty.
See you, and thanks for having me, and praise Allah.
Thanks for watching, guys. I think Freddie got a little triggered there, but it's all right. We'll walk it off. I'm here every Monday, and please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And if you want to support this podcast, go to patreon.com/Tyler Talks. You get a free private Zoom comedy show only for patrons once a month. The next one will be on February 27th, so check it out. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Do something nice for yourselves. Bye-bye.